Doc Rivers and the Los Angeles Clippers have advanced to the Western Conference semis, a Game 7 beauty over Golden State, 126 to 121. It's Inside the NBA. It's presented by Kia. Ernie Johnson, Grant Hill, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith. Man alive, what a day. 3 Game 7s on the slate. Had never happened in NBA history. We jump right to the highlights of the Warriors and the Clippers. What an emotional series for the Clippers, and it ends with a 5-point win in a Game 7 over Golden State, 126 to 121. Blake Griffin going for 24. Chris Paul been bothered by that hamstring and a sore thumb, and he goes for 22 with 14 assists. Jamal Crawford, 22 off of the Clipper bench. And DeAndre Jordan, he's had 4 games in this series of at least 18 rebounds. Man alive.
I think he's from Texas, isn't he?
You know, one thing about DeAndre, I think the Clippers did a great job of, giving the alley-oops to DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. But the rule should be, when you play the Clippers, that DeAndre Jordan has to shoot more free throws than field goals. And if you do that, then you'll be successful. But to allow him to be around that rim and you leave to give him alley-oops is the cardinal mistake.
He can never get a dunk.
He could get dunks, tip dunks, tap dunks, but he should never get passes to dunks or alley-oops to dunks because you should be in the foul mode. And he should, like I said, he should always shoot more free throws than field goals.
But the problem
6
is,
of each tonight.
a lot of those were alley-oops from Blake Griffin. And as Blake's going to the basket, the big guy has to make a decision. If you don't get up on Blake, he's going to dunk on you. So a lot of the big guys will get into the paint up early, and Blake is so good at that buddy ball, throwing the ball to DJ. And he had like 3 or 4.
Why is Blake getting by? My point is, wouldn't you allow Blake Griffin to shoot
pick
a
and
jump
roll?
shot? They did a great job today, though. DeAndre Jordan was the reason I think they
I agree.
won Game 7.
Well,
his defensive ability and his ability to just play defense and block shots and intimidate the lane, I thought was a big.
But you got to give Chris Paul credit. He had
too.
He had 15 points and 8 assists in the second half. He made all the plays down the stretch. He is, to me, I used to say this about Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was the best leader in the NBA, in my opinion. Chris Paul is the best leader in the NBA today. He wills his team to wins. I thought he was fantastic. But, man, the Clippers, it's been a crazy week. I mean, this thing has really only been going on a week. Great win by the Clippers. Take your head off to Mark Jackson. Let me say one thing about Mark Jackson. Obviously, you're close with Mark, and Mark's a friend of mine. And I don't know all the intricacies that's going on in Golden State. But, man, the notion that he's on the hot seat or may not, I mean, it gets to the point sometimes you hear stuff in sports, it's just flat out ridiculous, Ernie.
Yeah, I mean, and, we all do these radio shows all over the place. You do more than I do, but I'm on with
you should do more because you got a better looking face for radio.
Well, yeah, I do. San Francisco the other day I'm talking to, and I asked them, I said, what is going on when you win 51 games and you're the number 6 seed and you're toe-to-toe with the number 3 seed and they're saying that you're going to be gone? I mean, what could be more important than coaching a team that respects you and plays for you and has that kind of thing? If there's stuff going on that's between the head coach and the front office, whatever, is there anything more important than having a coach who coaches a team and who has their respect and will do anything for him?
There's nothing more important. The one thing is a lot of times, as we see now in the NBA, is just a lot of unrealistic expectations. And if you look at the Golden State Warriors team, you say, max out, they're going to win 50 games this year if they max. And then I didn't even put the equation of injury, a Bogut, no Bogut, and different injuries throughout the year. I'm just saying if you max out and you look at that team talent-wise, that's really all they have. Here's the unrestricted free agents.
Look at that. Kenny, look at that. 3rd straight year with improvement in wins.
Yeah, like I said, it's more about, they need more personnel. Yeah. They don't have enough personnel to win in the West. They just don't. But they need more people. That's why a guy like Jamal Crawford could come into Crawford could come into their team.
Jordan Crawford,
rather. Come into the team, really hasn't been part of it, and play big minutes and be an integral part. Same with Steve Blake. Guys, they just don't have enough talent to get over the hump.
I agree, Kenny. 2 years ago, nobody expected anything from Golden State. Last year, they beat Denver the first round, advanced to the second round. Now you have, like you said, these unrealistic expectations. But a lot of these franchises, I don't understand the lack of patience. You know, you got some young players. You got to be patient.
God just told me, I'm sorry, hell in my ear. The Golden State Warriors made the playoff one time in 17 years. And they made it before Mark Jackson got there. Now they've made it 2 out of the last 3 years. And I actually laugh, Ernie. I do agree with you. Like, sometimes you're on these radio shows like, wow.
They made the playoff once in 17 years, and they're ready to find guys that got them there the last 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
First time they've made it back-to-back years since 91.
And he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
As I told you, Ernie, everybody think they married to a Playboy bunny.
Until they get home.
Most people married to rabbits.
There you go, 126. I would give you more on that, but I've heard it 150,000 times. 126, 121, the final score. Moments ago, this was Doc Rivers of the victorious Clippers. Clippers and Thunder playing game one in the nightcap Monday, the 9:30 game. We begin the conference semifinal coverage with the Wizards and the Pacers at 7 o'clock Eastern time from the Fieldhouse. The second of 3 Game 7s on an unprecedented night of playoff hoops came in Oklahoma City. Now, the Grizzlies know they can win there, having taken 4 of the last 5 playoff games from the Thunder in the OKC gym, but Game 7 would be a real challenge. Leading scorer Zach Randolph suspended for throwing a punch at Steven Adams in Game 6. Mike Conley playing with a bad hammy. And then there's that matter of dealing with Durant and Westbrook. We go to Chesapeake Energy Arena in Oklahoma City.
That's why he went 10 for 16.
120 to 109. Oklahoma City led by as many as 22 late, and they coast home and end the season of the Memphis Grizzlies in a Game 7 at the Peak in Oklahoma City. Durant 33 and 8. Westbrook his second triple-double of the series, 27, 10, and 16. Oklahoma City moves on. Here's Lewis Johnson. And we're back. So having at least 25, 10, and 15 in a single playoff game.
Wow. Oscar Robertson.
The great.
The second greatest basketball player ever, in my opinion.
Behind?
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Is that in a Game 7, Hal, or is that in a playoff game?
It says single playoff game history.
Yeah, Russell's the only one in a Game 7.
Well, you can't read, Ernie?
Yeah, I was just trying to clarify because we had the number before.
Oscar Robertson,
Never bad to get clarification. Now, we got the Clippers and OKC. What's your gut telling you, Grant Hill, about that series?
Wow. I think Westbrook plays big. Will do a decent job of trying to contain Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. So you won't need to double Blake Griffin. I think Ibaka will do a good job there. But it's a matchup nightmare, I think, for the Clippers in the sense that they're going to have a hard time with Durant and Westbrook. And so Paul, we know he's been nursing a little injury here. But Westbrook is a different kind of player than Steph Curry. Westbrook is athletic. He's explosive. He can get to the paint. He can create havoc on defense. And so I think ultimately it'll be a 6-game series, but I think Oklahoma City wins.
Chet.
Well, I think Oklahoma City, the advantage that they have that obviously the Golden State Warriors did not have is that Kendrick Perkins is not really a shot blocker, but he's a body blocker, meaning he's going to go and he's going to put his body on DeAndre Jordan, guys running through the lane, and then all of a sudden he changes the physicality of the series. Obviously what he used to do in Boston, that's why they brought him here, because he does that. So he, with his limited minutes, with his limited block shots, his limited points, will be the key to the series.
Well, Steven Adams, too.
Yeah, and Steven Adams. They will be the key to the series because all of those rim runs that those two guys get, that's all that Kendrick Perkins is really good at, stopping those things. He stops those rim runs, and that's why he's there, and that's why he's brought there to Oklahoma City. So I think that'll be big, along with what you said about Westbrook.
I think Kendrick Perkins, he's just going to lay on DeAndre, don't let him get lobs. I think the problem, the Clippers got several problems. Number one, the only guy who's probably athletic enough to keep up with Blake is Ibaka. He can guard him one-on-one. I mean, he's the only power forward in this league who's physically strong enough and athletic enough to bang with Blake. So that, to me, is a wash. Blake can play a little bit better than Ibaka, but he can't like go out and get 35 a night. The problem they got is nobody can stop KD, but the injury to Chris Paul, first of all, even if he was healthy, nobody can guard Russell Westbrook. It's going to be exaggerated because of Chris's hamstring. Russell's going to be able to go crazy. And if you look at Golden State realized that Chris could not guard Steph, so they put, they put the other guard on Steph a lot of times. That won't happen this year because J.J. Redick got no chance either. So I think Oklahoma City got a lot of advantages.
You OKC in 6 there. You got OKC.
I got OKC in 6, maybe 5.
Jet.
I have OKC to win it. Number of games doesn't matter if they're going to.
Well, he
Pick a
didn't
number,
ask you.
man.
Pick a number,
man.
Pick a
Come on,
number.
Carolina.
1.
Remember you growing up?
1.
Pick a number. 1.
Well, clearly you were taking to some of those classes in North Carolina like the rest of the students.
Hey, listen, I wish I was there. I'm trying to figure out why I didn't get those classes. I wish I was there then.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Ernie. Am I reading that correctly?
I had to go everywhere.
Zach Randolph got a player option for $16 million?
Wow.
Wow, I want one of those. I'm going to take that. I'm going to go out on a limb.
It's for you, Chuckster.
13-7, 5 blocks.
I told you.
That was Charles back in '99.
Charles,
That was my last year, right?
Oh, that's another $100.
There you go.
$300.
$100. Man, talk about yourself in 2000.
I talk about you,
Come
Chuck.
on, man.
All right,
Thank you, Grant.
next series now. Indiana Pacers, Washington Wizards. Indiana took 2 out of 3 during the regular season. Blew them out in the first 2 meetings, and then the Wizards won the last meeting in March, 91-78, and never trailed in the process. That game was in Washington. What are you thinking here now? Because Washington was very impressive. Seems like 8 weeks ago we watched them play Chicago.
I'll go first. I will go first.
I thought you were doing your Canadian.
You're Canadian.
No.
Go Raptors.
Man, you're.
Wait, you don't know that? They say,
No, we do. That's why we're doing that. Hey, it's just like
like then when I go to Australia, we say mate. I'm
Kenny,
bilingual.
would you like to go first on this series?
You're so worldly.
You're way over my head right now.
In Canada, they say after everything.
But what did Australia have to do with it?
They say mate.
We
have
understand that.
So what?
So what? But what did that have to do with?
He's showing us how worldly.
I'm international. I'm like the Dos Equis
You know what they
guy.
say? No,
International Chuck.
They
Yeah, I
say
am.
Italy. What's the matter, you?
Stay thirsty, my friend. I'm like, I'm like him, Grant. I'm international.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Okay, who do you like, Mr. Worldwide?
Okay. Hey, Wes, Worldwide West, I might add.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna go with the Wizards. You know, the Wizards have impressed me. They've grown up and matured. I think they got a lot of weapons. I think that the only reason we didn't know about them sooner was because Nene could not stay healthy. He's missed a lot of the season. And you see how well he can play when he's healthy. I think Gortat is underrated. I think in the next 2 years, the Wizards are going to have the best backcourt in the NBA. So I'm going to go with the Wizards.
Grant, would you care to?
Yeah, I agree with Worldwide. I think they have, first of all, the best young backcourt, and I agree they'll be the best probably in a few years. I like Ariza on George. If Indiana struggled with Teague, they're gonna struggle with Wall.
No question.
Wall's gonna go where he wants, get into the paint, finish, find Bradley Beal. 8 weeks ago, I never would have said that Indiana would lose to Washington, but I think Washington can beat them pretty easily. Now, I think it'll be a better matchup for Hibbert going against Nene, but Nene's playing well. Gortat will match up well against David West.
So you like Washington pretty easily over Indiana?
I mean, I trust my eyes, and my eyes have told me as of late that Indiana's just not playing great. They won tonight, they played well, but they got to play a lot better against the Wizards.
And the funny thing is, I usually trust my eyes as well. And my eyes would say that Washington would win. However,
Oh, my goodness.
I just believe that the Indiana Pacers just overlooked the Atlanta Hawks. They were so caught up in that the playoffs are starting, and here's their opportunity. I feel their opportunity to move on and get to Miami. We've got home court, and now that they overlooked them.
No, but
I know. But the eye test would say, like I said, my eyes would say Washington. However, I really believe that their antennas are up, and they realize that every year is different, every year is a battle, and they have to come to play.
if winning this series, can that galvanize them, you think?
That's what I think it did.
You think?
I think it really did, because they were sleepwalking, and I think because they got the first number 1 seed, they thought we got it, right. and they've never been in this position. They've never been the team that was expected to. They've always been a team that's trying to get to. And I think it overwhelmed them in the first round, and a team that was inferior stayed with them. And now I think they have their attention.
Meantime, the Atlanta Hawks, the only team in the playoff field with a losing record, but Mike Budenholzer
Did a
himself
fantastic
proud
job.
in his first year, and you miss Al Horford for the most of the season.
Take your hat off to Danny Ferry, too. Did a fantastic job. And don't give a shout to the new boss, Steve Koonin.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, our old boss, Steve Koonin.
Long-time friend of the show and friend of us here at TNT.
Getting late, man. We got to get out of here.
Hey, man, seriously, we need to get the hell out of here, man.
Well, we're on our way. That's a wrap for Inside the NBA, presented by Kia.
Kevin fell over there, y'all.
For Shaq and Charles and Grant, and for Craig Sager, Ernie Johnson.